I can't wait, and I very much hope that maybe next week we'll be able to do it. We've been efforting hanging out with Bob Melvin for a little bit. I'd love to ask him, what's the game plan when Nick Ahmed comes back for this baseball team? Because if Luciano is still hitting, and here's the other thing, and maybe the most important thing about what's happened the last week. I know they went 6-1. I know we love homegrown talent. It does look like the bats are suddenly awake. Do you want to know who's most excited about last week? It's not the fans and it's not Bob Melvin. No, it's not him either.
No?
It's the marketing department.
Yeah.
It's the marketing department. Because Matt Chapman can be player of the week all he wants, and he might not be a Giant past October.
Right.
Blake Snell might not be a Giant past October. So
Giants baseball, pre-ARB 3.
There you go. These three guys, if they can stick,
Giants baseball, they can't leave.
Exactly. There's your new motto. These guys are signed through 2087.
At least.
For $7.
Giants baseball, indentured servitude.
I mean, it is awful. It really is awful.
It's the system.
I know.
And it's...
Let me look it up. Marco Luciano contract.
I'm sure that they're all pre-ARB 3.
Yeah, he's on a 1-year, $720,000 contract. Okay.
Brock Purdy.
Less than Brock. But how many ARBs would it take before this guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's pre-ARB. He hasn't even started ARB.
Right.
So I don't even know.
I'd have to look this up. ARB.
This is a bunch of years.
Right.
Bunch of years before Marco could do anything. So, yay?
Well, I mean, yay.
I hate it. I hate the system. The system's stupid. It really is. It really is, because players have come up and they're good, and then therefore they're not being paid what they're worth. And then what baseball does, go see and go look at the payroll for the Atlanta Braves. They do this better than anyone. If they got these three guys up, they're going to give them about 3 more weeks. And if they play well, they'll walk over to them and say, will you sign a 14-year, $90 million contract? And they'll be like, $90 million? I've only made $500K so far in my career. Where do I sign? Poof. And then they got him for the rest of their lives.
Well, I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr. is making $17 million a year, and he's worth probably double that for sure, maybe more.
What contract did he sign and when?
Let me look it up. It was 8 years and $100 million.
Okay. See, there you go.
8 year and $100 million. And if you're Ronald, young Ronald, you're
19 years old.
Million?
Exactly.
That was 2019.
How old was he?
He was 21.
There you go. You're 21 years old. And
actually, when he was 24 is when it kicked in.
Okay, but when did he sign it?
He signed it, I believe, in 2019.
They buy out a bunch of ARB years.
Yep.
Right? So that's actually considered a negotiating ploy.
So he made 15, 17, 17, 17, 17, and 17.
He's worth 45.
And that's in 2028 with a club option for $17 million.
There you go.
And I'm guessing they're going to pick that up, Mark.
He's actually struggling this year. But he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's 26 years old. They do a great job of it. When I say great, it's not great. It's not great for the player, but it's that we don't feel bad for him either. I mean, the guy's going to be taken care of for the rest of his life if he's smart with his money. But, we've talked to agents about how this sounds. What would you do? You're 21 years old. You are essentially under team control for another, call it 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And the team comes to you and goes, it doesn't even matter what the number is. It's like someone walking up to you and being like, so, want to not worry about money ever again? And these will be like a kid from the Dominican. You know what I mean? Who knows? Did he even have sneakers when he was a kid? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So if someone offers you $100 million.
Guaranteed.
Done. Where do I sign?
Yeah, and the upside would be 124 with incentives, and he's hit a lot of them already. So
right, but he's every bit that Juan Soto is, just 2 years older, and Juan's over here turning down a $500 million.
Right.
And Ronald is absolutely worth all of that. But the Braves have done a great job of it, And I'm sort of, I'm kidding. The Giants, this is way too early to have this conversation with these three guys, but that's why this is so exciting. It's not even that they're young or that they're homegrown or that they look good. If they stick, dude, they're here for 7 years.
At least.
They're here for their 20s.
Right.
And that means your team might be really good for a while.
Exactly. And, you want to look at the Giants on the pitching side, and you had Kane and you had Lincecum and even Jonathan Sanchez, who was here for a long time, and he was, homegrown, and you had pitchers and you inked him and you kept him. And then on the hitter side, you had Buster and the two Brandons, and you liked him and you inked him and you kept him and you had success. And that's really what this team needs. And that's what the fan base really wants, is not only to win. Of course you want to win, but you want to have players that you feel like you can get to know, and you could buy a Matos or a Ramos or a Luciano jersey and know that you're not going to have to worry about turning that thing in after a year.
They're all pre-arb.
Of course.
They're all pre-arb.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Lucas, your producer.
Hi, Lucas.
Thanks for having me.
Do you know who Lee Steinberg is?
Still no. Well, actually, that's a lie. I do now.
Okay.
Thank
You had to Google it.
Yeah.
That's what I learned today. How about that?
All right.
Can Jorge Soler, does he own a glove? Can we ever get him into the field? Because him holding down the DH spot every day feels like it makes it tougher on things. Like, if we could have Luciano play DH here, let's Ahmed get his glove into the field. If you want to bring Casey Schmidt's glove back, if you want to go trade for another first baseman, then Lamont could DH sometimes.
Well, I mean, I do think that...
Do you listen to the show?
Yeah.
Would be my follow-up question.
Rarely.
Because I actually said this yesterday.
And he did.
Because Mark had his idea, which was better than my idea, and my idea followed his idea, and my idea was get Jorge a glove and let him play some outfield and let Luciano actually not have to play short and DH.
Well, a couple
and Mark
things.
laughed at me, Lucas.
I didn't laugh at you. I just think it's a little early to be thinking that Luciano is a great DH. He has 6 hits in 18 at-bats. So it's a little early for him to be like, the DH should be somebody who has the ability to go out there and change the game. This guy has a total of 0 major league home runs.
Right.
So let's not freak out about Marco being the DH. I understand the idea is we don't love his glove over at short. I would much rather let Luciano largely keep shortstop, use Nick Ahmed as a late inning defensive replacement so there's no more ninth inning bobbles when you absolutely must close the game down. But I'd also say this to both of you, Lucas and Dibs. Soler does not have to be the DH every day. Even if it's most days, you got a tough right-hander with a sweeper that has owned Soler in his career. Well, now you've got 2 lefty corner outfielders, but if you want Ramos, Conforto's going to be back soon. Could Conforto DH on certain nights so that Ramos doesn't need to come out of the lineup? Or, obviously, Yaz. You want Yaz's glove out there. He's a phenomenal right fielder. But does he have to play every single day? For me, you end up with, if you look at the 3 outfield spots and the DH, that's 4 spots, and you largely have 5 people. You can figure that out.
Yeah.
Matos is your center fielder. Between the DH, left and right, you've got Yaz, Conforto, Ramos, and Soler. You can get everybody into most games that way. And also keeping guys for righty-lefty matchups late in innings. So I don't think it's much of a crunch as we think it is until Austin Slater is healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I think we're waiting to figure out what the organization's going to do.
Right. And if Slater comes back when he's healthy and they send out and they won't send out Matos, it would be Ramos who would get sent of the group. If
Maybe.
they do that, there might be a revolution in the fan base.
Well, I agree with you. There might be. Especially because, by the way, the other outfielder / utility guy that they just sent down, I don't know if you remember him, y'all. His name was Tyler Fitzgerald. He spent most of the year on the big league roster.
Yeah.
He has homered 413 times in 12 at-bats since he went down.
Oh, wow.
I'm not kidding. He is on an absolute... They sent him to sack, and he has homered in the majority of his at-bats since then. Damn it, Farhan! He had 5 homers in 3 games.
Really?
No joke. No joke. He is absolute. So I'd almost rather see him come back up than Austin Slater right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And Brett Wisely is the other one where you wonder about Wisely, and I know he is positionally much more flexible than anyone else, and so you like to have him. He can play short, he can play in the outfield, he can pinch hit, but if Fitzgerald is that hot down there in AAA, then maybe you got to bring him back and not Slate.
He's the right-handed Wisely.
Right.
He's right-handed and can play short, second, center field, all of these things. Yeah, look, Slater is in an interesting spot, and it's a concussion. We have had zero updates in terms of how he's doing and feeling. By the way, FP is going to join us here in about 15 minutes, and we'll keep talking about Giants baseball. There's more Draymond. There are more. There's quotes you just got to hear. I'm sorry.
No, I can't wait.
You have to hear them.
Yeah.
You have to hear them. There's nothing we can do. You got to hear this stuff. It's unbelievable what he said next. But anyway.
By the way, really quick, before you do move on, a couple other injury notes for the Giants. The Giants have announced that Alex Cobb will resume his throwing program this weekend, and Robbie Ray will throw his first live BP tomorrow.
Let's go.
Double R.
Oh, and by the way, did you hear? You're such a weirdo.
Lucas.
Double R, by the way.
That's Raymond Ritter.
Yeah, double R in this town is Raymond Ritter. Do not get it twisted.
Yes.
There's room for both.
Robbie Ray better win a lot of games before I start calling him double R.
Totally.
Okay?
Double RSP, not double RPR.
Did you all? By the way, did you all hear? Did you hear what the Giants did today? The roster move. Did you hear what they did?
No.
Jackson Reitz. Hope you enjoyed his time.
Reitzy?
Reitz is gone, but that's not. Yeah,
man.
he got the D to the F to the A, but that's not the one that got my attention.
Gone too soon.
No, but I was pleased. This is nothing against this guy. He clearly showed in his back-to-back outings this week.
Luke Jackson?
No. Mason Black.
Oh boy.
You got to go down, man. You got to get down.
Thank you, Tony.
You got to get down.
That's a classic throwback.
And he did. So he's going down. But did you see who they brought up and signed? They signed to a major league contract, former and now current Giant, Drew Pomeranz.
I'm a Giants fan.
He's back.
DP.
Let's go.
DP.
Take it easy in there. Can't just initialize everything, L.A. Anyway.
Pomeranz is back?
Pomeranz is back.
Let's go, Drew.
Yeah. So maybe he's going to, I don't know, it'll be a middle relief, starter, opener type of a thing until Alex Cobb is ready to go or until Keaton Wynn is ready to go. Whatever. It's better than what Mason Black was doing.
Does he take the Mason Black spot in the rotation?
I think so. Yeah. Or something. Whatever. Swing guy. Mason's not ready.
Where's Pommy been?
He went to the Braves for a while.
Dodgers DFA'd him today.
Oh, they did.
Okay. Wow. So you're happy about getting the Dodgers scraps now? Dodgers crumbs?
If his name's not Mason Black, I'm open to it.
Hashtag Dodgers crumbs.
Fine. The Dodgers have taken Giants crumbs before. Sergio Romo and Brian Wilson both went there.
Whoa, friend of the show.
Oh.
Sorry, Serge.
Except for that year. You can't wear that uniform and be my friend. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't do it.
And we got to fight.
Yeah.
We'll get him on
It's
again.
just the way I'm wired. It's nothing personal.
Bring that same energy next time we have him on.
I did when we had him on.
Kind of.
Not kind of.
You didn't say you can't be my friend.
Well, I'm not his friend now. He'd be like, we're not friends. I don't even know you. He's like, I'm just talking to you.
He hit you with a great
radio.
story. Great story about Grandpa.
Look,
he softened you up.
Hey, you can't wear that uniform and be my friend. My daughter played baseball when she was like 7 years old, got put on the Dodgers. I said, I'm not going to the games.
Get out of here.
I'm kidding.
I was going to say, whoa, that would be crazy.
But
That's a lie.
No, but I did. I was not happy because the gear has to be in the house.
Yeah.
I'm not washing my laundry with a Dodger jersey. It gets crap all over everything.
Imagine if the blue bled onto some of your Giants gear.
I had to do a separate load just for the uniform. I'm like, these pants and that jersey, whoop, you get, and just soap. I'm like pouring 8 cups of soap in there. Bleach. Oh, that would have been brilliant. Why did her uniform turn white? I don't know.
I don't know.
Weirdest thing.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. No, you can't have that stuff around. That's a no from me. Dog.
That's a no for me, dog.
All right, anyway.
Jose.
I think that there's a way to get all of these guys involved. But look, that's the game within the game right now, going back to what we were talking about. The game within the game is, I don't know when Austin Slater's healthy, and I don't know what the team is thinking right now, but that's why these at-bats have some incredible urgency. If Luciano goes out there and goes 0 for the weekend or starts kicking balls more, then, yeah, you probably watch Brett Wisely stay. And Luciano goes down, and I don't want that. No one wants that. No one wants that. But the sample size has got to get a little bit bigger. Matos has got runway because Jung Hoo Lee is hurt, and Ramos right now, he's got the biggest sample size, and I'd argue he's getting pretty close to putting together a run of at-bats that means you stay.
Yeah.
You stay even, and that's the one that we're looking at with Austin Slater.
I think the more you go through this and you look at 50 runs in 6 games and you look at what Austin Slater's done, and I know it's still a small sample size and all the rest of it, but it feels more and more like that's the move that they know they have to make, but they're not ready to make yet because, I mean, Austin Slater, you mentioned it. We haven't heard anything about his return to play protocol from his concussion.
Austin Slater, this surprised me, and therefore I think it'll surprise everybody. Do you know that Austin Slater has been in the organization getting ABs for this team since 2017?
Yeah, 7 years.
Okay. It's actually 8 now if you count this year.
Okay.
27. He's been in the organization for 8 years. And this guy has one time he had an OPS under 700 in those 7 previous years. And this year it's at 434.
Right.
So, but you do got to understand now, and I'll back the organization here on this one. It's pretty tough. I'm not saying Austin has ever been like a great player. There have been times where he is legit great against left-handed pitching. And so to think that he just suddenly has no value, I think is wrong. But this is a tough one. You got to be careful. Guy was on the team for 7 years, largely was a very productive player, and now in 39 at-bats in 2024, a lot of people want to DFA him. And I get it. It may just be a crunch, but that's the thing, because from Ramos to Wisely, even Matos, even though I know he's manning center field, all of these guys, you can send them down and then call them right back up next week if you want. If Slater goes, he gone.
Right.
He gone. And he's going to get picked up by somebody else right away. And I feel you. I know most people are like, fine by me. I know. But I'm sure the organization, they've invested enough into Austin Slater where they don't just want to kick him to the curb based on 39 at-bats.
Right. 39 at-bats, and he's got 5 hits. And there's a player out there who has 34 plate appearances, 31 at-bats, and 3 hits. And, you know, his name is Brandon Crawford. So you get to a point when it ends, and sometimes it ends quickly. And maybe that's where you are with Austin Slater, where you get to a spot where it's just over. And I know he's only 31 and Crawford's 37, so it's a little bit different as far as where they are chronologically and the age, but maybe Slater's just at the end of his rope where, you know, he's not going to be a productive hitter anymore.
I mean, he's on the other side of 30.
Yeah.
For whatever it's worth. He is on the other side of 30 now, which is super surprising. I couldn't believe that when we talked about it a few weeks ago, that Austin Slater's been in the organization and at the major league level for 8 years. 8 years. And he's still on like kind of the turn and burn contract thing. 1 year, $4 million contract this year, unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. So from that perspective, you know, maybe that is somebody who either you let go or I bet you could shop. You could shop a little bit, right? Like not a contract that's going to go beyond this year. Guy's got a track record against left-handed pitching. Maybe somebody wants to give you a minor leaguer for Austin Slater. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a little quick. It's a little quick. They would love more data. They'd love to see these guys string together 3 or 4 or 5 good series before they make a move like that, I'm sure.
I get that, but at the same time, you've got a lineup right now that is humming, and you've got young players in his spot who are hitting great. So do you want to take at-bats away from Ramos or not Matos, because he's pretty much entrenched in center field, but do you want to take at-bats away from young guys just to see what you have from Austin Slater?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So how do you get his sample size big enough to where you can actually make a judgment without playing it?
No, you're getting their sample size, not his.
Right.
You're getting Ramos's sample size. Are you? They all have the same question right now to all three of them. Are you going to stick? Can you stick? We've been waiting for all three of you for a while.
Yeah.
And I know they're still pups, but they've also been waiting for a while. We left here last year with the thought that Luciano and Matos were both going to be on the baseball team on opening day, and neither of them were. And Ramos, he was supposed to be on the baseball team a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Right.
And there were moments where the organization was like kind of out on him. So now they're all here at once. They've all had a really good week or two, or maybe even in some cases 3. And so that's wonderful. The organization is looking at all three of them going, are you going to stick? If you're going to stick, great. Let's roll. And they'll make some moves. But, going back to where we even started the conversation, this is a marketing department thing. That's who would call Farhan right now and be like, could you please just...
Seriously?
Right? Maybe could we just keep Ramos up here? I don't know if you know.
We got some bobbleheads coming in August.
Phone's been ringing a little bit.
Right.
Phone's been ringing. So...